First of all, I'm loving the space, and I've been listening for quite some time. It's always very good and refreshing to hear what other people think. Because some of us started speaking about these issues 5 years ago. To people thought we are jokers when we talked about the cost of governance, a bloated government, nini, watu wakatuvamia, tukaleta punguza mizigo, wakatuchapa kijiti. But anyway, having said that, listen, let me just, because I have a very short time before I go for my evening engagement. I just want to say that, first of all, to you people, Pipita, congratulations for organizing this space. It's really good that we are speaking as Kenyans, and I can see the fire in people. So we no longer don't need any physical political rallies. These are our new political rallies. Let's exploit this technology. Let's mobilize through this technology, and I hope we can actually push for electronic voting in 2027, so that we end up this shenanigan of people lining up in. I mean, if we can transact about 25 billion, on M-Pesa, why can't we just start casting a vote every 5 years? I mean, and to Mariam, I'm more than happy to relook into. Okay, I'm on travel actually, but I'm more than happy to relook into the proposals by your colleague, and I'll be more than happy to participate in it and give my guidance. Now, Pipita, let me say this. Number one of the biggest challenges in Kenya's political leadership is lack of unity in opposition. And your question about how far can a leaderless movement go speaks to that. Because yes, they are pushing you guys, Gen Zs and the rest of us, to identify a leader so that they can compromise that leader. Because this is Kenya. I mean, we all may have been born at night, but certainly it wasn't last night. So tunajua vile mambo inafanyika katika nchi yetu. So I think we can push this agenda to the extent that it serves it, to the extent that we achieve certain irreducible minimums. Have we been able right now to change the thinking in Kenya? If you look at President William Ruto, when the Gen Z started going to the streets, he was actually subdued. This is probably, I think this is the longest time the guy has stayed in the country, thanks to the Gen Z's movement. He's no longer jumping from one plane to the other to other country. That is an achievement on its own. Now he's thinking about, okay, am I safe with these Gen Zs? Am I safe in the country? So I think Congole to you Gen Zs for actually putting fire, firing this situation. So the idea that we need to think of a leadership is good on the one hand, but also on the other hand, it means that let's not expose whoever it is that we may want to be our leaders, because all of you guys are leaders in your own right, in equal measure. Pepita, the way you are doing, or whatever you are doing, actually, that's leadership in itself. Bringing people together to discuss about the country, that's leadership. That's commendable. And I think we thank you for doing that, and many other people who organize the spaces. Now, however, let me ask a very, critical question. Assuming today William Ruto resigns and together with Gachagua, so what next for us? What is it that we want to achieve as this movement, as the Gen Z movement? Because somebody earlier on said, I think it was Daktari Onyango, if I recall, we need to participate, and I think Kathomi has also spoken to it. We need to offer ourselves to be leaders, because as young people, you guys are leading us in so many ways. Like, for example, today, if you think about the age of information, IT, it's young people who are controlling it. We have the know-how, we have the knowledge. You people are not the youth of yesteryears. You are the youth of today who are so knowledgeable. You can easily Google facts and share it. So I think one of our major challenges over the years is the fact that we have said that politics is a dirty game. And because we say that politics is a dirty game, we have only left politics the most deplorable in our society. That's why today some individuals, nondescript individuals, are actually the face of leadership in Kenya. I dare say shame on us, because we are one of the most educated countries in sub-Saharan Africa, but who actually is our leader? today? Who are our leaders today? Jokers, you know, murderers, rapists, thieves of public resources. And I keep on repeating this phrase from Plato, who said that one of the consequences of refusing to participate in politics is that you'll be governed by your inferiors. The truth for the matter is we are being governed by our inferiors. Let me give you an example. And I will use the finance because the finance bill 2024 is what sparked all this. Although now it has, morphed into other things, which are very important. Questions of accountability, corruption, better governance, leadership and integrity and all that. Let me take you guys back kidogo. The 2024 finance bill as proposed was rejected. So today, I don't know whether you have read the Court of Appeal decision on the fact that the 2023 Finance Act was flawed and was therefore declared unconstitutional. So what does that mean? It means that we are going back to the 2021-2022 Finance Act. But we have a president who signed an appropriation act, basically the money spending law, which is supposed to be pegged against the money raising law. That's the Finance Act. So you raise money through the Finance Act, then you spend it through the Appropriation Act. So President William Ruto today did sign the Appropriation Act, but based on the 2023 Finance Act, which the Court of Appeal today has declared unconstitutional. So that means we are being taken back to 2021-2022. The fundamental question I want to raise is, do we actually have a parliament? The answer is no. Do we have a government that is responsive to the needs of people? The answer is no. So, true to Plato's decision, philosophy, our non-participation in politics is that we will be governed by our inferiors who do not think about the rule of law, who do not think about passing legislation that are good to the people. So that's where we are. And therefore, to the question of the day, how far can a leaderless movement go? I think it's a question of time. If an election was called today, I wish that as many of you as possible can actually offer yourself to be leaders. And I hope you won't be persuaded by the trappings of power, the niceties, driving the SUVs and all that kind of thing, because that is one of the things that compromises. And I hope us guys today can even drive a Vitz. And we are comfortable. We can even ride a bicycle to parliament and we pass legislation. I think vanity has taken over the leadership in our country. And having been a member of the committee of experts that wrote our country's current constitution, one of the things that the world admires about Kenya, and we should be proud of that, is that the people of Kenya passed a chapter called leadership and integrity. But honestly, who do we put in charge of our public offices today? We are putting the worst. So I think my clarion call to you, as you think about how far can a leaderless movement go, but we can also ask, how soon can we join the political space? Because from political decisions come the price of unga, the price of maize, the price of bread, the price of whatever you drink, or whatever the case may be. So we need to be on that table as diners, not as the dinner to be dished, because that has been the story for the longest time. I mean, and I think us guys, and I think, is it Mariam or Kadhomi who spoke to it? Tuache wivu. If on a balance of probability we say that Kasmuel today, Makore is really representing us very well, let's support him. If it's Pepita, if it's, Pius or Soro, I mean, if it's any of us here who are listening to this space, who has a certain strength in a certain way, let's encourage them, let's support, because all of us cannot be leaders at the same time. And unless for me there is any specific issue on the constitution or on political mobilization, I think I want to rest there. But most importantly, please participate in politics. Don't stop being curious onlookers. Stop being bystanders, because The reason we are not participating in politics is the reason why we end up with the kind of individuals that we have today, because politics in Kenya has been commercialized, government has been commercialized. So we have people who say they have been in the opposition for all this time, but as soon as they're invited into government, they forget about the whole concept of opposition. Our parliamentarians today do not check on the executive. They don't legislate for their people. They don't oversight. They don't pass laws that are people friendly, because Kenya's politics is commerce. It's an industry. And so the more we stay away from it, the more we are encouraging these people, because honestly, so long as we don't participate, Pepita, these people are very happy. But the moment we come into that space, then they panic. William Ruto panicked when the Gen Zs actually took to the streets and called for him to leave the office. So he reached out to his brother. I mean, if you look at, for example, and I still want to challenge you guys, we need to begin to deconstruct these personalities. If you look at the political pedigree or political journey of, say, the current president of Kenya, from 1992, he was not elected, but up from 1997, when he was elected as a member of Eldoret North, up to now, is the longest elected politician in the history of Kenya. But what success story or transformational issue can we identify him with? The next move for us, even as we answer the question, how far can a leaderless movement go? We need to begin to deconstruct personalities that occupy our public office. Are they worth it? And if they are not worth it, are we participating in it, in replacing them? We must